Hello everyone, and welcome back to Farming Simulator 17 with none other than myself, TXStar. As you can see in front of me, we're waiting for this field here, field number 16, to come in because I've decided this episode it's time to purchase a brand new field. So, run over to the little marker here. As you can see, we've earned 100% reputation with Mr. Eric Roberts here. So, got time sped up, purchase this field right here. I've gotten just about everything else harvested in the game. You know, all the current fields we own right through here is 12, 14, 15, 19, and 18. I don't know if I had bought it last time or on camera or if I did it off camera, but I accidentally bought that one. I don't think I ever got 100% reputation with the lady that owned that field. And there it is. I just saw it in the background. This field just changed over. So, yes, we normally would do your mission, but no thank you. I'm going to buy the field from you right now. That way, all that lovely wheat, all this lovely wheat is now ours. I want to barely nick it here, just to trigger wheat. Okay, in naval swath is the comma. Then hire the hand, let him get to work. Yay! And now we're going to own this field. So it means we're going to need our forage wagon to be picking up that straw swath. Run over here and get it real quick. May need to check my... Okay, let's see. Wheat, we have 18,000. Barley, we have 124,000. Canola, 130,000. Sunflowers, 43,000. Soybeans up to 38,000. No corn, no potatoes, no sugar beet. Go ahead and check, make sure there's not a decent sale going on right now also. I did have a great demand off screen at the spinnery. As you can see, it's still a pretty good sized number, but I don't have any to sell. It was over 6,000. It was up to 6,000. So nothing major right now. Soybean ain't too bad at 1,000, but we can get that later at the Maple Fields mill. So with that being said, we need to get wheat going here. Go ahead and get this guy working. There it is. Oops. Too many buttons. Turn that off right now. Let's look in here. So yeah, that's got first level on all of these. And we're just now harvesting that one, so cool. See if we can find our forage wagon. Where did I park the forage wagon? Hope everyone's doing pretty good. There it is. I see the little forage wagon. Get this over here. we go. Wow, this field's going to fill this up fast. 30% on the first run. 41, wow. Lots of straw then. Kind of hard for me to see a little bit because the sun glare coming in my window. But 80%. So hope everyone's doing okay. I did kick off a new Let's Play series. Um, I know I made a video probably a couple of episodes back now on my farming simulator about, I was going into surgery in January. So it's been one of the reasons for a little bit of me not being able to get some of the videos out. It's not like, I've not had time at home. It's just sitting at the computer chair, being able to sit upright, to be able to play a game or something like that's been very hard to do. And it made me think back to my old console days. Ooh, whoa, that stopped. That ain't good. Just when you got to play consoles, you got to stretch out, you got a controller in your hand, you could lay on your stomach, your side, upside down, you could do almost all sorts of weird things because that controller would, turn whichever way you wanted it to, as long as the cord was long enough. And yeah, that's all you had to do. So it made me think about those laws, when I couldn't do much, when I couldn't do anything on the computer. So it made me start thinking about, emulators. What emulators are, what they're for, and a lot of it's mainly, in my opinion, systems that we don't have no more, or you really can't get no more. Like for me, I'm in my mid to late 30s, so I've been playing consoles or playing video games, on many different platforms over the years now. For many years now, one of my very first original platforms I remember was Nintendo itself. The original 8-bit Nintendo that came out. Then, they had the Super Nintendo, and then they went to the 64 and GameCube and all the Game Boy eras. And there were so many different versions of those that came out. Sega didn't even exist yet. PlayStation wasn't even on the market yet. There's just so many more that I just can't name. I know my brothers started with Atari. And I barely remember Atari from when I was a very, very young person. Atari was almost faded out by the time I could really start to remember. But being down with my surgery, made me remember some of those. Some of those were the classics that paved the way for some of us. That we grew up with Mario and Link and Pong and other games and Pitfall. Those were the games that were originally that kick-started all the video series. Um, so just thinking about that reminded me, of something. And one of the video games that came back to mind was my very first video game system that I bought. And why did you not go to the end of the field? You like missed a whole chunk there, dude. But one of the very first game systems that I physically bought with my own hard-earned cash was the Nintendo 64. Now the very first Nintendo that my family had was combined between me, my older brother, and both of my younger sisters. It took all four of us to buy the original Nintendo because none of the four of us ever had that much money. And my mom was dead set against video games. Just it wasn't going to happen. She wasn't going to buy a video game system. She hated them. She didn't like the idea that us kids immediately procrastinated against her, and we wanted to play video games instead of going outside. Or it sometimes caused a little bit of a fight and an argument because found out later that it was my older brothers that caused a lot of her drama because they had an Atari before I could remember. And my older brothers literally would fight over whose turn it was. And, fair turn and all the other stupid arguments some of us get into over video games. But, yeah, that's one of the things that, it turned her off against. So there's no way she was going to buy a system. One, in her opinion, that was way too much money. And two, yeah, it just wasn't worth the headache. So to get the very first Nintendo, us kids had to buy. But my very first one that I ever bought was the actual Nintendo 64 system itself. I had to go buy it. I had to buy the expansion pack that went in it to allow it to play it because it had a little memory expansion slot that went into the actual console itself. I forgot exactly what all it did, but it was required for certain games. Had to buy, the 3 additional controllers. I think that was actually one of the very first times that, the system didn't come with a game, so you had to buy a game with it. Of course, I got the default, what everyone always gets is Mario, because that's one of the very first games that always comes out with it, because Nintendo releases Mario pretty much every time they release a system. So I bought it, but right after I got in the system, they started advertising the new Zelda. Anyone who knows a lot about Nintendo knows Mario and Zelda are strict rights, to the best of my knowledge, to Nintendo. No one else will produce or release, will ever do anything with that except but Nintendo. But they started advertising right there on television. You could catch it between commercials, between whatever show you were watching that afternoon or that evening. Prime time when kids are still up. But was a new Zelda game. It happened to be called Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Sorry, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. So, getting drained here. So that being said, when I was down with my surgery, I went ahead and decided, I want to play. So I started looking into emulators and the rules behind the emulators. What part of the emulator system makes it illegal? If there is an illegal claim to it, and what parts of it are right. And the issue against emulators is anyone trying to play a game or gain access to a game that they never technically owned, um, is the fight and the problem with emulators. Is you gaining the right or gaining access to play a game that you technically didn't buy yourself, um, so you didn't have, technical rights to it. Um, so, I understand that. I fully understand, where some people are against emulators in that sense. But, like I said, I own that game. I played that game at least 2 or 3 times. Because, I played it once through for a playthrough for myself. Then I played it again with my nephew. And then one of my sisters wanted to play it. So I ended up helping there. So I know of at least 3 full times that I had played through it. But I decided, I want to be able to play some of those old classic games that I grew up with. Go back to some of my teenage years and play the games that, really brought me into the gaming world, made me love games and be interested in games. Not that I have anything against the new ones that are coming out. I think Farming Simulator is great. I enjoy playing it. I'm going to continue playing it. It's just, some of those old classics are the reason why, gaming's where it is. So I decided, go back and do a playthrough of it. And I'm like, while I'm going down the road, for some of those of you who have never heard of it, wonder where, some of these games came from and the ideas, and, because some of these are not available for you. Buying a Nintendo 64 today, yeah, that's possibly doable with a lot of research. And then finding some of the old cartridge games that, it required. So, I will admit, I am playing, like I said, I am playing an emulated version of it on the computer. But, it's part of, what made me enjoy games. Made me enjoy some of the storylines that could be put into them, because, some of the original games that came out with, the storyline was either so hard to follow or so vague or wasn't important. But, Hyrule, which is the land that Zelda's built on, but The Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time was the first one to me that actually had a storyline put into it. I think, the 64 the Super version, Nintendo Super Nintendo, I get the names right here, they did a storyline in it, but I don't know if it was my age at the time or something, the storyline it didn't flow to me too much. I may look it up because I had it too. But like I said, the Ocarina of the Time was the one that, was my very first system and one of the very first Zeldas that I ever played. And it's the one that has the most memories to me. I've actually surprised myself how much I do remember a lot of the details of the game. I know part of the story still. I know what's coming up. I'm not waiting for it's not a complete surprise in the game. Go do this. I'm having to be careful sometimes in a couple of my recordings not to spill the beans of the game before it happens. So, okay, we got field 16 here harvested up. Looked like, from what I saw, we were just about done finishing seeding field number 12, I think. Yeah, you can see him in the background. Looks like he's on his final pass out there. Excuse me. Okay, looks like we just finished up. Got those done. Start working on seeding the next field there. Well, the reason why I was telling you about that new series, that way you know to look for it and go check it out. I know currently right now when I'm recording this episode, I only have episode number 1 that I did a live play of for everybody that caught the live play. If not, the video is released on my channel. You can go back and catch the live feed. Unfortunately, because it was a live feed, it is a long video. I think it's just a little over 2 hours long, so you may have to visit and watch it in sections. But I'm playing through. I do have a online game guide that someone gave me through. They call it a walkthrough, which it's fine, just to help me remember some of the smaller details that I don't remember. I could probably go dig in the back and dig out my old game guide book. So get this wheat delivered. Park everything away and put it away because we don't need it right now. Jump the little tracks here. There we go. So we got the weeding of field 16 underway. We're currently sowing or seeding field 14 with wheat. Field 12's done, so we got a few more fields to go here, guys. I'll do a lot of this work off screen for you. So I'll say thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit that share and subscribe button, guys, and don't forget to go check out my new video that's been released. I'm hoping to have episode number 2 edited and released very shortly. It probably will be out, if not the same day as this one, probably within a day or two. So don't forget to check it out if you're interested in an old school classic game. It was released back in 1998. Um, so tells you how old the game is. It's almost fixed to celebrate its 20th birthday. Um, so thanks for watching as always. My name is TXStar, and I'll see you around next time. Bye bye.